Hi everyone, this is Karmic Mentality and welcome back. If you guys want to see how this camera, the Sony ZVE10, performs outside in a vlogging setting, stay tuned. I just checked into the hotel with one of my boys right over here. And where did we come from, Fateh?
We came from Toronto to Rep the 6, you already know. Let's go.
And where are we right now?
We're in Chicago, you know?
The thing is, guys, we've never been to Chicago before, and I want to take you guys along with us on a little food tour, seeing some of the architecture here in Chicago. And people say it's a very nice, clean city and everything. So, of course, we want to take you guys along with us to see how the Sony ZVE10 performs outdoors in different times of daylight. When the sun is glazing so much on the afternoon, some people might get confused because of the super bright screen of theirs, and they might be thinking, "What is your camera broken or something?" But that's also because you might not know how to mess around with the shutter speed and the aperture and stuff. So I want to show you guys how you could change your image quality to somewhat decent if you don't have an ND filter on you. And also I will compare changing the settings to putting an actual variable ND filter on and showing you guys how those two differ. And yeah, so this is going to be a fun journey. Ain't that right, Fateh? Fateh boy.
Right. You already know, man.
Alright guys, so come along. Holy shit, man. I always forget that parking pass. I have to run all the way upstairs and come back. But anyways, you guys can see that we've got some good external light in this parking lot, so the camera doesn't have to work too much. But we're gonna go and head over to Chicago downtown, and I'll show you guys in some low light situations, if you don't have an external light, then what to do to mess around with your settings to make it look a little bit good. So let's go. As you guys saw, we just tried some amazing ramen at Ramen San here in Chicago. I believe they have 3 different locations, or maybe more, so go ahead and check out Ramen San here in Chicago. And look at that. Woo! Yo, this city is full of amazing cars, like some next level shit. But anyways, as for the low light environment that I was talking about earlier before we left the hotel, as you guys can see around me, Chicago is a pretty well lit city. You can't really find a super low light area, but right now I don't really have a external video light on. So I'll just tell you guys what the settings I have on right now. I believe I have my shutter speed on regular, like 1/50, because I'm currently shooting at 24 frames. And then my aperture is at 1.4 because I'm on the Sigma 16mm lens. And the most important thing, the ISO is currently on 640. So the ISO still gives me a little bit more light, and if I jack up the ISO to 1000, it'll still give me great light, but it might just distort some of the colors out there. So that's why I've kept it on the sweet spot, which is 640 in this type of low light environment. But keep in mind that if there's no light at all, if it's like pitch black, then no matter how much you jack up the ISO, you're definitely gonna need an external light, like I mentioned in my Sony accessory videos. So if you guys haven't watched that video, I'm gonna leave a link down here somewhere in the description or up here somewhere. I'm gonna leave it down and check it out. All right, now we're gonna grab some dessert. Come with me.
Very nice.
Alright guys, this is our second day in Chicago, and as you guys can see, me and Fateh over here, we're just getting ready to head out. But before we head out, I just wanted to show you guys how the camera settings work outdoors when the sun is beaming on you and there's like super bright daylight. Currently I'm on ISO 100, which is obviously the lowest, or one of the lowest that it could go to. And you might be thinking that this is fine to vlog outside because it's not bringing any light in, so you'll be fine with that. But guess what? This is what happens when you vlog outside with ISO 100, but you don't mess around with your shutter speed and your aperture. Sorry, not and, because we don't want to mess around with our shutter speed. But just for the purpose of knowledge, I'm just going to show you that if you do make the shutter speed go up to maybe, let's say, 1/2000. Right now, I'm on double my frame rate, which is what's recommended. But if you go 1/2000, then it'll darken your image and you'll be able to see everything outside. But another way, an alternate way, is to raise the aperture. Right now my aperture is on f1.4, so if I raise it to, let's say, f9, f10, 12, that will also darken the image and you'll be able to see everything outside. So don't compromise on the shutter speed, only compromise on the aperture. And I'll show you guys when I raise up the aperture what happens. This is what happens. Let's find that button right there. This is f11, and I mean 16, f16, and then this is f6.3, and then this is f9. So you guys can see that it brings darkness to the image. I'm gonna put it back down to 1.4, but the only thing that is going to be compromising is that the background blurriness is no longer going to be there. Right now I'm using the Sigma 16mm. That means I can go down to f1.4, and that means my background stays more blurry than f2.5, for example, or f10 or anything like that, right? So one thing to keep in mind is that you are no longer going to have that background blurriness, so it's not going to give you a cinematic look. So how do you keep your shutter speed, keep your aperture, and choose your own ISO and do all of that but still see outside? That's when you use an ND filter, or a variable ND filter. And when we go outside, I'll show you guys how that works. Okay guys, now we're outside and I know it's super bright and you can't see anything, so hold your horses. I know that, okay? I have the ND filter in my hand right now, and as I bring this closer to the lens, you'll be able to see what a difference it makes. So keep in mind that I have not changed the aperture, nor the shutter speed, nor the ISO. Everything is as is, and now I bring the ND filter right beside the lens, and now I have to kind of like tighten it. So just give me a second. Over here, the variable ND filter, the way it works is that it can rotate around and you can make it as dark as you want, as light as you want. So this right now is going to go like super dark, you can't see anything, but at the same time I can make it go back to super light. So you just got to find that little sweet spot and use that as your tint. You can still change your ISO, you can still keep your aperture to as low as 1.4 and have your background super blurry. As you guys can see right now, the hotel and everything, the cars are super blurry behind me, and that's because my aperture is still at 1.4, my shutter speed still at 1/50. I haven't compromised on any, and because of the variable ND filter, I can still have a great cinematic look outdoors when the sun is beaming on us. We're gonna go to Chicago, see some tourist attractions, and see how they turn out with this ND filter. We're at Navy Pier right now, Ponte and I, and man, the water is so nice, and as you guys can see, the sun is beaming on me, and I have the ND filter on right now. I think this is my sweet spot. So as you guys saw, the ND filter makes a big difference now that we're in broad daylight, and I'm gonna take off the ND filter now and show you guys what the difference is between having this on versus just raising the aperture to get more darkness into the shot. So I'm going to take it off now, and now it's obviously super duper light, but we're going to raise up the aperture, and so now the aperture is at 14, and you guys can still see all the picture, like all the buildings behind me, the whole picture, everything is visible. The only thing is that the pictures behind me, the background is not blurry as it was when we were using the aperture 1.4. You guys be the judge of it and decide whether or not you'd like to use an ND filter or just raise up the aperture. So whichever type of shot you like better. If you like this type of shot better, then you don't even need to invest into buying a ND filter. And I'm sorry if my thing is shaking a lot because I don't have a stabilizer, so I'm trying to walk as slow as I can to kind of get proper shots. All right, guys, this is the end of our second day here in Chicago, and we're ending it off with some amazing dessert from McDonald's. What are these called? Strawberry milkshake.
Yeah.
Strawberry milkshake, man. They're actually really good. I don't think I got these in Canadian McDonald's ever before. I'm not sure if they sell them, but
These are the best out there.
they really are.
We
They're
came
really
out
good.
just to get them, you know.
If you guys enjoyed, like, you know, me explaining how the aperture and shutter speed work in low light and high bright environments, then please give this video a thumbs up. And by the way, I'm not using the filter right now because it's already nighttime. But if you guys enjoyed all the footage that I put previous to this clip, this is including the pictures that I took of myself and Fateh, and just a little bit of color editing, and some of them don't even have any editing at all. Using the ND filter, I took those photographs. If you guys really like them and the quality for the Sony ZVE10, then please give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Come on, subscribe to my boy right here. He's the best out there.
Alright guys, see you tomorrow.